For 4 years, every time you raised your arms in an airport scanner, a government screener in a locked room down the hall was looking at a nude image of your body. These machines captured a detailed, chalky white outline of your physical form, recording contours and features with clinical precision. Millions of travelers walked through these checkpoints without knowing what was flashing on a monitor just down the hall. Today, you step into that same glass booth, but the screen only shows a generic cartoon stick figure. The machine still sees the body, but it has been programmed to look away. Welcome to The Subject History. This is the show where we investigate the ordinary objects you walk past every day to find the stories hidden behind them. If you want to see the scandals underneath the surface of boring things, subscribe. Today, we're looking at the airport body scanner. We are tracking how a technology that began as a privacy nightmare became a machine that is now engineered to instantly forget the bodies it reads. While the scanners feel like a direct response to 21st century threats, the core technology traces back decades before the modern airport. The science began with Cold War-era radar and radio astronomy research in the 1940s and 50s. Scientists discovered that millimeter waves bounce differently off human skin than they do off common cloth. It took until the 1990s for a company called American Science and Engineering to turn this principle into backscatter X-ray scanning. The initial intent wasn't to scan people. This technology was originally built to inspect cargo trucks and shipping containers for smuggled goods. By the early 2000s, engineers had developed prototypes designed for passengers, but security officials initially kept them sidelined. The images were considered too invasive, and the systems too expensive to deploy at scale. The technology remained a niche tool for cargo and high-security sites until a single flight changed the government's priorities. The shift occurred on December 25, 2009. A passenger named Umar Farouk Abdul Muttalib boarded a flight to Detroit with plastic explosives hidden inside his underwear. Standard airport metal detectors could not detect these materials. Because the threat was strictly non-metallic, he was able to pass right through the checkpoint without triggering any alarm. Following the incident, the TSA moved to fast-track backscatter and millimeter wave scanners into hundreds of airports as the new primary screening method. This rollout placed high-resolution sensors in front of millions of passengers, moving a technology reserved for shipping into the center of travel. Public reaction was immediate and hostile. Critics argued that the detailed body scans amounted to digital strip searches. Resistance formed quickly. A pilots' union encouraged its members to opt out of the scanners, while travelers like John Tyner went viral for refusing the physical pat-downs following a rejected scan. In 2010, the Electronic Privacy Information Center sued the TSA, seeking transparency about what the machines were actually doing with passenger data. The lawsuit uncovered internal documents proving the machines were capable of storing and transmitting images, contradicting the TSA's public claims that images were never saved. The revelation led to widespread protests at checkpoints, with some travelers wearing minimal clothing to mock the invasive nature of the technology. Internationally, the backlash was even more severe. Europe effectively banned backscatter machines, citing both privacy concerns and the potential risks of radiation exposure. While the scanners could find hidden explosives, they had created a massive civil liberties conflict. The TSA had a working security tool, but they no longer had the public's cooperation. Resolving the crisis required a technical shift rather than a policy change. Engineers introduced a software update known as Automated Target Recognition, or ATR. ATR software intercepts the scan data before it ever reaches a screen. An algorithm analyzes the raw information to look for anomalies without generating a human image. Instead of a body, the operator sees a generic cartoon outline. If it detects an object, a yellow box shows the agent where to check. No true image is ever displayed. The algorithm flags threats and clears the memory. The TSA began testing ATR in 2010 and completed the transition for all millimeter wave machines by the summer of 2011. ATR became the standard compromise. It allows the machine to detect invisible threats while actively stripping away the identity of the person being searched. Not every machine survived the update. The manufacturer of the backscatter X-ray units, Rapiscan, couldn't develop ATR software for their specific hardware. Congress eventually issued a deadline for all airport scanners to include privacy-protecting software. Rapiscan failed to meet it. The TSA terminated the contract in 2013, forcing the removal of all 250 backscatter machines from American airports at the manufacturer's expense. Millimeter wave scanners equipped with ATR software took their place, and these are the machines that currently populate security checkpoints. A technology that was initially designed to see through cargo ended up being rebuilt to ensure it could never truly see a human being. When you step into the scanner today, you're standing in a machine that was redesigned because of a public refusal to be seen. That's this week on the subject, history. Subscribe and hit the bell for more stories behind the objects you use every day. Tell us in the comments, what should we look at next? The removal of nudity from these scanners required a lawsuit, an act of Congress, and a fundamental technical redesign. The privacy we have at the checkpoint today was a hard-fought public victory.